Gymnastics strength training is my go-to for the upper body. It's near total perfection for the upper body's development, but there's one thing missing which is sabotaging that perfect label, and that is triceps extension. Name some gymnastic strength skills for me. Got planche, iron cross, multis, support position, back lever, chin-ups, pull-ups, handstands, handstand push-ups. They're compound movements, so most of the upper body is working to some degree. But the triceps are never the limiting factor, which creates this disproportionate strength between the biceps and the triceps. Disproportionate strength between flexion and extension. Now you're probably asking yourself, are there exercises we can involve that can close that gap in strength? And yes, there are, with some caveats. So you're probably thinking dips are a great exercise, aren't you? Of course you'd think that, wouldn't you? Well, dips are great for the triceps, but the chest and shoulders are going to be worked out a lot harder than the triceps will be. And if you compare the dips on their own to the plethora of exercises I mentioned before, it pales in comparison to what those exercises can do for flexion and the biceps compared to what dips do for the itty bitty triceps. The front lever and Victorian work the triceps in isometric contraction, but it's never reliant on the triceps to do most of that work. And if the triceps can never push themselves close to failure, they'll only receive suboptimal stimulus and results. But the issue isn't within the movements themselves. No. The potential issue is that we have a lot of examples of exercises that take the biceps through concentric, eccentric, and isometric contraction, but very little scarce for the triceps. And lastly, we have the impossible dip, which is a great exercise because it makes the triceps a limiting factor and involves purely triceps extension. The problem here with the impossible dip is it has a limited range of motion, and the last one, which isn't really its problem, is not a popular exercise. No one gives two mothers shits about the impossible dip. And yeah, that just makes me really sad for the impossible dip, you know? Like, it has a family. Like, it invested money. It bought Bitcoin. So if you think your triceps might be lacking, here's some bodyweight exercises that you can try. Impossible dips, which can be regressed using negatives or using bands. The exercise regression tiger push-ups. You've got rings triceps extensions, Victorian leans, and your dips on P-bars or the rings. If you want to stick with bodyweight exercises for the triceps, the limitations might be a limited range of motion, unable to make the triceps the primary muscle as part of the movement, and a difficulty in measuring the difficulty of the exercise and scaling it. All these things are made much simpler when we look to the dark side. Look to bodybuilding exercises like dumbbell skull crushers, cable extension, triceps kickbacks, and dumbbell overhead triceps extension. So here I am, I've set up the camera next to the dumbbells, my favorite friends, but what you gotta understand is a heavy triceps kickback, it doesn't equal a Maltese or a Victorian or a planche. This is simply a tool in the toolbox to complement what gymnastic strength training might lack. So ask yourself, is triceps extension strength something that's lacking in your calisthenics or gymnastic strength training? If not, and you want to smash the biceps more and more, then check out this video and let's create a greater imbalance than ever before.